I wrote a stream of consciousness post on my Sober Method Reddit community just a few minutes ago. And I've never done this before, but I'm going to record a post of what I wrote because I think it could help, some people that are in longer recovery and provide some clarity. So here it goes. Sometimes you can just sort of lose the entire concept of what you're doing with your life. I mentioned I was really struggling in my last post nearly a month ago. And at the time, I didn't realize just how deep the rabbit hole was going to go. And it's been wild. So let me share what I've discovered about myself. I hope it helps someone and pray that if anyone else who got sober went through this in transition shares, because I really need some support at the moment. I'm not kidding. So let me start by saying that I think I've just experienced what I'm going to call a transition to third wave sobriety. Now, hear me out here. So, my first wave, I'm going to define as from day one, which was March 23rd, 2016, until I created Sober Method on December 31st of that year. Now, first wave sobriety is just being sober. You're surviving, stabilized employment, and built at least one new solid sober friend. Something starts building within you. It's making you want to grow and help others that are struggling. For me, this manifested in the creation of Sober because AA was just not doing it for me. And I felt like all I did was talk about the past and I wanted a brighter future. And I didn't want to forget about the past. I just don't think dwelling on what's in the rearview mirror ever did anyone really any good. Second wave hits January 1st, 2017, and ran until, well, let's just say today, because I'm writing this 100% stream of consciousness style with zero edits. So if it makes no sense, blame my brain because it's weird. uh, so this period is heavily driven on building myself into an ever stronger person, one who is confident, capable of returning to a level of the world, what the world generally says is success, and that success which I had had earlier in my life. Now, Samantha was murdered on August 1st of 2020, and losing a great love so young when so much was planned ahead is hell. And the daily pain that I felt finally left early last year. This changed the trajectory of the second wave into more of an outward push to share Sober Method with the world. And that happened finally in 2023 when I released my first two books. The third one's on the way. I started speaking, going on podcasts, and coaching really challenging cases. This has all been so rewarding, yet with the 10-year milestone approaching, I sort of started falling apart. Nothing felt rewarding any longer, and I began questioning why I was even still sober. The first time that thought came to mind, I got a little scared. Now, I didn't slip, it was just a thought, yet it was one that I had not had since the moment I learned Samantha was gone. So it gave me some heavy reflective pause. Why was I working so hard on Sober Method? It's not all I do in life. And honestly, the businessman I am should callously pull the plug for its inconsistent year over year return on investment. That's when I realized that many of the things that I was doing throughout my life had become in service of things no longer aligned with my life goals. And the hierarchy of my life had become splintered in a very real way. And I'd become an addict again, not of substances, but in the need to help others find sobriety. What's the first thing I always ask someone when they ask me for help getting sober? Come on, you all know this one. Why are you trying to get sober? And what's the one answer that I will accept? For me. You're getting sober for me, or some variation thereof. Sober Method is the living legacy of the gift that Samantha gave me, and it will live so long as I'm alive, and I hope one of my not even existing kids will carry the legacy forward. I love watching the lives that I've touched become restored in sobriety. And I'm sure that there are some AA and NA sponsors reading, or in this case, listening to this, that feel the same about their role in others' lives. There's no greater feeling than someone you helped 7 years ago calling you up and sharing all their wins and thanking you. It makes it all worth it. But the third wave is here. And I'm going to define the third wave as sovereignty. It's the moment that you recognize that you must live your life at all times for yourself first without compromising. And over the past couple of weeks, a calm has returned as I feel this fully in my mind. At the same time, since the beginning of this year, I've been moving towards making that fully reality in the coming year as I push myself out into new unknowns to begin farming and ranching. And I intend to be able to fully disconnect into my own self sufficient world before the end of the decade. Now, like everything, I'll get there because I'll do it with my small, measurable steps. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that you have to take control of yourself first. How can you take care of anyone before you've got your own house in order? And how can you be a solid friend, spouse, or parent if you're not solid? Clearly, you can't. Once you're good, then you can shine your light to help others. And if you need help, mainly counseling, if you manage to listen to my rambling, then you know where to find me. I love you all.